see these players maybe sit separate a little bit. Here you go, farming up those pallets, trying to get as much wood as early as possible, because early game building is one of the most powerful tools in competitive matches in Fortnite. If you have the ability to wall out, build up, and sometimes it doesn't pay off though. Sometimes it doesn't pay off.
And that was Mac from Soar with the clutch
out there.
Shotgun shot there as we swap on over to his perspective. And you see already 2 elims in his favor. Again, with the point breakdown, Ben, he earns himself 1 more elim this game. That's plus 1 point.
And that could be big. That could be enough to push you into the grand finals, just depending on how the rest of these games play out.
To put in perspective, earlier today, as another engagement goes down, you see the quick swap from
Wish here taking shots on Marcy. Takes the elimination, puts him at 2, and like you said, 1 more gets him a point to push him to the next round.
But the big thing I wanted to bring up is earlier today, in the qualifiers, enough to qualify for the semifinals was literally 1 point. A lot of people made it on through with just 1 point, which is pretty nuts to see. Obviously, more games being played here. You think maybe a little bit higher up. But either way, let's keep back into the action. Strugs right now just bouncing around outside Tilted, clearing out some of these outer loot areas. And there's pros and cons to this, Ben, because you think, okay, I land at the outskirts. There's less opportunity to be rushed or overwhelmed. But at the same time, there's less opportunity to get strong loot, right?
It all depends on how you want to play it. On the competitive side of things, you have to make a decision between, landing, positioning, putting yourself maybe in a POI with a lot of players at it, or playing safe, going for survival, playing for late game. And like you said, dropping at those outside zones, that's a late game play. Drops himself, takes some shots from above. Diabolic trying to figure out a way to scramble away from this back into his own.
Ben, look at his materials. 0 wood.
Gets the drop on Flame. No, gets the elimination. Diabolic.
There goes Flame. So at least 1 elim for himself. But again, he needs 3+ to earn himself that point.
A more commonly viewed player, Hysteria, you saw on the feed there, took himself out with a boom. Looks like a self-elimination. Won't count towards the elimination count, which is too bad. Right. And that's most likely unlucky, potentially in the middle of a fight. Yeah. Maybe bounced an aid, C4 or something incorrectly and did not pay off. Now, Tig inside the house, that the blue L-shaped building versus Diabolic hanging out in his porta-fort still.
Here's a quick little replay again from Wish, who we saw his 2nd elim. That was the first one he got on the Soul. So it looks like in the bottom right as well, an engagement beginning. A nice little play there from Wish. That was his 2-piece early on.
Excellent 2-piece up there, the top of the mountain.
As again, back to Tig.
Diabolic, looks like he pushed from his porta-fort. Tig going for the edit to try and get up on top, gets the shot through the window on Diabolic. You got to look out for those windows. A really, I think, positioning knowledge, extremely important there. Using audio cues, telling, if the target is above or below, and you can see here the creep walking from Crypto. He might be doing the exact same thing right now, listening for his opponent.
So again, we go ahead and they're just playing around in this building, trying to listen up for whatever movement there is.
Shotgun versus shotgun. We've got an attack versus a pump, both green. Now, Jack, in competitive games, from your experience in Summer Skirmish, if you had to choose between kind of the lower rarity shotguns, which would you choose in solos?
Sorry, what was that?
Shotguns, rarity, early game solos, which would you choose? Like, would you rather take a green tack or a green pump?
Oh, if I don't have a swap weapon, I'm going right away for attack shotgun, but there you see the use of the Scar to burn down that player.
That gold Scar.
That legendary assault rifle, brilliant stuff there. They'll go ahead and prioritize the minis over the med kit, which does make sense.
Tristan Hip getting the elimination on the outside there. Landing the crates, the taunt.
Okay.
Oh my.
You see the smile.
Do you see the cheeky grin?
That is great. Seems like 2 players now. Okay, I believe.
This is a pickaxe fight?
I believe, and I'm going to wait to hear. Something tells me.
If this is the case, you see headphones are off too.
Yeah, something tells me we are going to be going to a reset on this one.
Yeah.
Which I would still, either way, love. But I believe we will be resetting this. I'm waiting to hear from production backstage.
We're seeing only 23 left.
But I literally like this. I went, wait, something's going on.
As soon as you cut to a pickaxe fight.
I saw that there was 37 left. I'm like, something's got to give here.
Shenanigans are afoot.
Again,
DMO, you see a number of these players bouncing around. When we know more, we'll tell you more. But they might put on a little bit of some dance moves here. 72 hours. The drop down, putting an edit on.
Okay, well, as we wait for more word, we'll go ahead and keep up with the action now as Joda just bouncing around, still in Tilted. Another engagement going down. Quick swaps in the pumps. He's got that Large machine gun, not using it quite yet. Just going to go ahead and reset with the minis.
LMGs inside these buildings can be really, really powerful too. It'd be interesting to see what is, what kind of players, whether they choose that kind of setup. So you see that they are resetting.
So, so just for everyone at home, the audio issue, getting a quick reset on it. Appreciate your patience as we go ahead and get that sorted on out.
It's the way of the road,
you knew something
Jack.
was going on. It is the way of the road. You knew something was up when I was looking. I was like,
as soon as you see two players that are
37 players left. If you've watched any of the skirmish, you know. A lot of times you're 37 players
that's
with like
very low.
The sixth circle.
The first circle hadn't even closed yet.
Yeah.
You saw people pickaxe fight. Yeah. How many times you see somebody pickaxe fight in a summer skirmish, Jack?
I watched a lot of your streams, Ben.
Yeah, I pickaxe fight a lot, but I don't know about here, man. This is a little different environment.
No, either way, again, appreciate your patience as we go ahead and get this quickly reset for everybody at home. Again, use the hashtag Summer Skirmish. Get involved in the conversation. It's one of the big talks right now of this whole PAX West area and what's going on.
Can you blame them? $1.5 million on the line right now for everybody. You could be here locally, register, get here in time to register, play in, and win a crazy amount of money.
Nuts. And you know, it's a life-changing amount, as you mentioned. I think the big thing for me is just going to come out and see who some of these guys who have played well online, how well do they adapt to playing well in a LAN environment? Because there absolutely is a difference. You're not in the comfort of your own home. Some of the peripherals are different. How does that affect them? I think the best players will rise up above that here today and this weekend.
My opinion, though, the thing to take away from this is everyone's playing on the same setup. They're all the same machines. Like you said, they're all on the same peripherals.
Absolutely.
They're even forced under the same in-game settings, which means the number one factor is skill, and I love that. You can see some of these players, an opportunity for them to shine. These shots here that you see on your screen right now, this room that they're in, it's a black box for playing. You know, everybody, it's the think tank of gamers down there, getting ready to just go crazy, go after each other. You know,
you love it. As again, you see everyone talking on there, getting everything sorted on out. We'll get that issue figured out, and we'll get right back into the action. For now, though. On your end, we're obviously seeing a lot of stuff going on in game. One big thing that's happened this week, the introduction of the Shockwave grenade.
Oh, yeah.
And these pro players already have started to figure out exactly how to utilize it for those late game scenarios. We were talking about the clip from Poach earlier where he winds up using the Shockwave grenade to blast through someone's build.
Literally through someone's structure in a scrim while they're trying to heal, and just flies in, double barrel shotgun in hand, and gets the elimination. And you can't predict those kind of things. And I think that's the additions that Epic has put into Fortnite for competitive play, especially a grenade like this. They change the game every time. They just kind of try and mix things up so that no one can ever really get comfortable, and that keeps players on their toes. They have to adapt, because you'll see the truly competitive, the top skill gamers, these players, they will change up the way they play if something in the game changes, they require it. You know?
Yeah, I think the big thing is that that new shotgun that's been added on, and it's so popular now for those late game scenarios. You get a quick edit, take your 2 shots, and most times it's enough to eliminate your opponent.
I can actually speak to that directly. Last week, I believe it was Outlet pushed through a ramp on me and jumped through the double barrel, and that was all. That's all she wrote. That was
all over.
Yeah, and those kind of plays. That's the stuff that we want to see here. Those players, they're going to push to the top of the roster. They're going to win these heats. They're going to win the qualifiers. They're going to make it to Monday. $1.5 million in line. Remember, if they get there, just getting to Monday is $5,000 minimum.
Yeah. And remember, that's just $1.5 million that was spread out now for this event. Throughout Summer Skirmish up to this point, it was what? I think in total it was $8 million in prize money up for grabs. As a look at some of our players, that was an interesting. Maybe we should add that as an emote into the game.
Nate Hill on your screen a second there just got signed to FaZe to play Fortnite competitively, which is fantastic.
Pretty good.
He's a player that has, we were talking about before, people that have come up basically out of nowhere and said, hey, I'm worth watching.
Yeah. No, I actually, everyone's kind of got their skins that they rock in game.
Yeah.
Nate and his teammate for the recent weeks have been rocking the kind of the soccer skins or football skins. And there was one moment where I literally began to get an engagement with them, and I told Asteria, I was like, we should just not do this because it's Nate and his teammate, and they're very good.
You know who they are.
Let's just look for maybe an easier target on the map.
You look for Dr. Lupo, right?
Hey, I didn't want to mention it, but yeah, that's exactly who I'm actually looking for.
It's funny you mentioned the skin reference, people identifying certain skins. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, 72 Hours and Chap have been doing the same thing recently with those bandit skins. Don't they typically rock those? And because I recall last week seeing those running running around and doing exactly what you said, choosing to not engage because it's a fight that they're just so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
You got to show respect to the best players out there. And please, I will run away from that and feel no remorse. But again, just get things sorted out. Appreciate your patience, and we'll get on into the action. Just to reiterate for everyone at home, tonight we're having 6 matches played with the point breakdowns. The top 33 from tonight will be into Monday, where they compete for the majority of that $1.5 million in prize money. And that's honestly, anyone can win it. When you come into this event, people say, who are your favorites? Okay, if there's probably one pick for people out there who follow competitive Fortnite a lot, I'd say a lot are probably looking at Vivid to do a lot this weekend.
I would say a lot of people are. He has had, he won 4 of the previous summer skirmish weeks already, which is the prizes from that alone are massive.
Yeah.
You can't even, you don't even know what to say about that. Those victories, man. Yeah. And that's fantastic because he just joined Liquid as well. People were waiting to see which direction he was going to go, what team he was going to sign with, because he was extremely sought after. And waiting until later in summer skirmish for him, what a brilliant move.
His stock went up every week.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, yes. His value
I'll add another
increased.
0 to that contract.
It's got to be increasing daily.
Yeah.
Just from his stream alone, people are seeing how he can play, playing in scrimmage games. We've seen a lot of players get deep into the scrimmage games recently. Some of them stream it, some of them don't. In fact, specifically, we've seen Myth scrimming, but not streaming it. I think the move there is to try and take a more competitive stance because he wants to get really deep into the game. He wants to push all distractions aside and just focus up.
It's tough. I mean, as a content creator / streamer, while trying to also be a pro player, there's a lot on your plate, and you got to kind of put in the time that's needed to compete with the best. So I think we'll see that this weekend. The players who put in the time will definitely filter towards the top. On my screen, spoiler alert, I'm starting to see the lobby get started on up. So we're
steps away.
We should be getting back into game number 1 here soon. Off the break, though, with that first bus, we saw just how much people stretched.
Oh, yeah.
Far away. It's kind of like a mind game because you're used to, I'm landing a normal game. There's going to be this many teams at retail, this many teams at Salty, this many teams at Tilted. That's not the case here by any means.
Like you said, competitive gamers, they choose, they have very specific drops. And speaking of said drops, let's jump into the first game. We're getting ready to kick it off here.
That is a professional cue to get into the action.
Transition, Jack.
I love it. What a transition.
Strap in.
We are now ready for game number 1.
A much different bus path than the previous one. We have a north to kind of southeast, which means that southwest corner, granted there's a giant, there's the cut out of the terrain, but I would bet that Greasy and Flush, contrary to maybe a public match, they will be populated. You will see players go there because the stretch is important, the distance they have to travel, and it all depends on the play style. We were talking earlier about whether you land, if you land at a POI versus you land in the boonies, so to say. That's a gameplay choice. You're choosing whether or not the early game is more important. You go for early eliminations, or if you're trying to stay on the outside, touch the little one-off buildings, gather as many resources, as many materials as you can. Maybe find purple AR if you get really lucky, and then bunker down if you're shooting for that that top 10 placement for points.
And just from that map that we saw earlier, only one person landed lazy, only one person landed risky. Realistically, only one person landed Tomato Temple. They're getting free reign of all the loot that goes on there.
Now that drop there, you saw Vivid had dualies and then immediately just decided to back out after he smacked the tree a couple times, get a couple materials, playing for late game. Dualies versus shotgun. He does have the clingers in case he needs to kind of use his get out of jail free card. We'll see what Fugues decides to do here.
I didn't realize Boss was that weak already. I didn't
maybe
realize
10
Boss was that weak. Looks like Fugues going to go for it now. Feeling confident. All the way on the outskirts of the map. This is that building that has the pre-built structure already on it. So if you're wondering, wow, who took the time to edit this?
Looks like a player.
This is literally, it's meant to look like a player build.
Going down. Look for the edits, trying to find as much loot as he can. It's interesting to see this kind of like this verticality. They know that the other player's still inside.
You couldn't ask for anything better. He winds up getting a shotgun. Or sorry, he winds up getting the bandages out of it, which will help him heal on up. Found the shotgun on the ground. What's crazy too about this building is those are neutral walls, so anybody can edit those. Yeah.
DMO over here, just digging through as much loot as he can. Got lucky, found some minis, which is going to be super important. Early game shield. You see, he chose the gray AR over the gray burst. low ammunition, low medium ammo count, a burst is going to be really, really bad. You're going to throw bullets away. You don't want to do that, especially in a game like this where you don't know how much ammunition you might be gathering.
That's actually the location that I landed in for the Pro-Am back at E3, but now as we swap perspective to basically the opposite side of the map.
Yet another top-down, 2 players stuck in the same building. Back over Fuchs gets the elimination on Boss. That's a big takeout there. Boss, an excellent player. I'm sure next game we'll be looking to make some big plays.
Right, and again, going right back to healing on up, over to Vivid now. He's on the outskirts of the map as well. So he's in a fight with Wheats.
He's only got 1 build left versus Wheats out here. A suppressed SMG, standard SMG. Wheats trying to make a move in there. He's sitting on 16 builds possible versus Vivid's 1. That suppressed pistol, 38 headshot. Vivid's accuracy coming out
and
here.
There you go.
The rift
Wheats
out.
had a rift to go. He's going to go ahead and try to spot exactly how this plays on out. Vivid, if you do this.
Hit these shots. You know you want to. He chooses not to. Taking just a couple. I think the decision to conserve ammunition right now more important, and potentially other players coming in, because those fights, especially if you're not using a suppressed weapon, you're sending up a signal flare to everybody else. Hey, I'm over here, and I might not have shield anymore.
Oh, Gorilla is maxed HP. Another fight going down versus Nibs.
On top of the building.
Nibs does have that tac shotgun.
What a huggable guy flying in your. And you saw in the previous engagement, those pyramids are used all the time by competitive players. You know, the flat surface and pyramid on the top to kind of double up. Ooh. Oh.
Fulmer gets the shotgun down on the huggable guy before he can break on out. Back to the fight we saw in the mansion just outside Greasy. Such a low material count. These fights so awkward. Top players. I mean, you almost feel naked in this game when you don't have over, what, 600, 700 material in your inventory?
You'll notice, too, right here, Nibs is even mid-engagement, swapping to the pickaxe. Gives us a couple smacks, grab a little bit of material, because that can mean one surface can mean the difference between winning an engagement or losing.
Absolutely. And we did swap late for a second, but Gorilla, who we saw had max health, was actually dropped to under 60 HP. There's a look at the map for a second, but let's dive back to the full screen action as I believe a third party has entered on into this fight.
Like tempo Payne, you see the shots from the feed. Payne got the elimination on Gorilla, and Nibs versus Payne, this little build off here. Low material build off, and Nibs can't even build. He's got 9 wood and nothing else, so he has to back out.
But you gotta love this play.
Here
Immediately
drop
forfeits
down.
the high ground.
122 brick, and now this is back in the fight immediately. He's gonna build up, kind of can himself in, push inside the building to try and throw Payne off so he can't track him.
Payne, a ton of materials, and he's got a brilliant loadout here, Lupo. Grenades, he's got the swap weapon between the pump.
The shot, when it looks like it bounced back out, he's gonna push up this little build off here, and the quick edit, the shotgun. Oh, and the Payne had the shotgun swap after the fast edit, dropped down, and just barely missed a shot to the target's left. Nibs getting the elimination.
That's a tough thing, right? The tactical shotgun, you kind of feel it. Yes, it's not as strong for those heavy damage hits versus the pump, but you can kind of consistently get out that damage. On the other hand, there for Payne, he uses that pump, and when he misses, the first tack hits from his opponent, he immediately goes, oh, all advantage I had is now gone.
Big mistake.
He tries to swap. At that point, there's already been 2 more tack shots fired, and it ends shortly after. Hysteria in an awkward position here. Low on materials.
He can build up a little bit, but his base is falling. He's going to try and build the counter, and it's not enough. The fall damage is too much. Nibs gets the elimination on Hysteria.
Here's some Vivid earlier on.
Vivid, yeah.
Swap on over to him. Gets it an engagement. There's the quick cleanup on the Diggy, and look at the loot there. Vivid, who we saw just had a silenced pistol earlier on with just 73 HP. Now has some shields, has it a limb. He's got some great weaponry as well. The big thing, though, is the ammo. The big thing is the ammo.
Sitting very low. Pretty much everything except for the shotgun is not. You're not going to be able to reload those, and that means that he has to make really confident, intelligent choices on engagements.
So real quick for everybody at home, 5 players with 2 elims so far on the verge of earning themselves a point. Dremin, Replays, DMO, Sofa, who was the winner from Heat 1 earlier today, and then Nibs. We've watched a lot of his action outside of Greasy. Again, here's the benefits of this spectator client. Shout out to Epic. Awesome updates
Seriously,
happening in the game.
Wonderful information. Now, actually, just right there, DMO was eliminated. Took 68th, but still a 2 elimination player taken out.
Can't be stressed enough. You need 3 limbs to earn a point. Fight going down now for Snood as he's trying to keep this high ground. You're seeing just how fast players are burning through these materials. And we might sound like a broken record, but folks,
you need them.
You need them so badly. When everyone can build in these lobbies, every little bit counts. The zone now pushing on it as well. The shotgun engagement whiffs that shot as well.
He's trying to get.
He doesn't want to have to run away. He wants to clean up this player, secure the loot, and then go and not have to worry about his pitch.
He's at 2 eliminations already. He knows if he gets this, that is a point secured for this round.
This could be our first point of anyone here in the qualifiers tonight. So much shield. He's dropped down to 25 health. Snood needs his elimination for 1 point. And again, every point matters. And look at how healthy his opponent is. Cubs Mill.
He stopped inside the box, popped the mini, so he had a little bit, but still the Storm ticking up away. 1 HP at a time. He's trying to get a top down here. We'll see if it even plays out.
What a shot! Down to just 22 HP. Snood, does he go for it all? Snood's got to go for it. He has no healing.
He heard him drop down.
No!
He dies to the Storm.
Snood just died to the Storm.
2 eliminations.
Look at him, look at the reaction. And I think he's done as well. They both risk it in the zone. And oh no, the dance. Star power, unfortunately, won't help you there, buddy.
That's
heartbreak for Snood. Heartbreak for Snood.
Back over here, Mars Cities. This was earlier near the beginning of the game. You see, taking Joda out, 64 down to 63 players remaining there. What a set of plays. The drama in the Storm. That kind of choice to just say, nope, I'm done, and just dance it out. I can respect that.
That's one of those stories that we have to keep in mind as this goes on. Snood missing out on that 1 point opportunity. You know he's kicking himself right there. Saint, who played a ton in the summer skirmishes up to this point with OP.
Triz in the feed taking out Nate Hill.
Oh, Nate Hill.
Player I mentioned from FaZe earlier, an excellent player.
Yeah.
Going down. Now, Saint versus Regan 57, a little, some edits, some preemptive edits here. Looking for the drop down. He closes the roof. Do you see how fast? Close the roof above him just in case. Just in case.
I don't know how they do it. The big thing for him, though, 2 big shields, too. He's already at max HP.
He's in a good situation.
Now, here's a look at the zone. And Ben, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
You see a
players
number of
all around the outskirts, but what are the benefits of getting in the zone early on when the zone updates?
They call that gatekeeping. You have an opportunity there. You get inside the white circle, the safe zone for when the Storm moves next, and you can watch for incoming players, people that might have been, they might take engagements from other players that are trying to push in the safe zone. You just sit in the top of your 1-by-1. We've seen in previous summer skirmishes, players like Tfue will pick up a scope AR.
You did it to me with a thermal.
I did indeed, and I
That's
apologize
why I asked you.
for that.
You did it last week.
Remember, Jack? No, you'll see players sit at the top of these things and they'll wait. And it's not necessarily slow play, it's intelligent play.
Yep.
They're looking for chances, opportunities to take on people that are in disadvantageous positions and say, I'm here and I can get the last shot on you, because every elimination counts. You said if they get to 3, that's a point.
Yeah. And this is a very awkward scenario right now for 72 hours, and here's why. The man has no shields. He's got the Storm at his back. He's got to push forward. And only 75 HP.
He does
so
have
many things one shot him.
He's got 5 bandages. He can fight against Storm damage a little bit. It's not going to tick for more than 1 until it closes, and there is a launch pad that he could use. More bandages as well. It's kind of like he just sort of won the bandage lottery there, sitting at 10. And you can use a launch pad and try and fly past these players. The choice to avoid an engagement rather than take it is a huge one, because that means that, especially somebody like 72 Hours, he knows the right thing to do there is worry more about the Storm and less about these people that you know they're going to end up fighting each other. Like Blue T in replays right now, a little bit of a build fight. Replay looks like he's looking for a snipe shot. You see him he's jumping and whipping back. Here it comes. Oh! There it is. Replays with the headshot on Blue T.
He's in FaZe. He's got to have a sniper. I'm pretty sure when you join FaZe, there's like a contract where you can only use snipers.
I guarantee
in those close scenarios.
The thought of a 360 went through his head before he hit that shot, and that put him at 3 elims. That's a point.
And now he's the second player. Actually, Dremon hit 3 limbs earlier on.
Ashton with an engagement. The drop there, putting him down to 18. He was at 51. Took some shots from the player that he's in a fight with here. And those little triangle builds, building up. Not enough. Dester gets the shot in there on Ash, who pushed through the wall. The spray down of the surface. You saw him kind of try and whip back, block him out, but it wasn't fast enough. He snuck inside the box and got him. But even right here, Flame is sitting on the top of the tower. This is the situation that a lot of these players are going to face, is they build into these boxes, these cathedrals, and there's more than who you know.
Gatekeeping.
Exactly. Vivid waiting right there at the edge. Just trying to pick up what he can. A heavy sniper here. Hands a few, but he's going to try and shoot down that green AR, just spamming out the build.
This is again for his third elim, and we sound like broken records with some of this stuff.
The points they're so important.
The points are everything. Again, if you get 3 or 4 elims, you earn yourself 1 point. 5 to 6 elims is 2 points. 7+ elims is 3 points. And then there's also points for placing.
Placing is
4th through 10th, you earn 1. 2nd and 3rd, you earn 2. First place is +3.
The edit there, do you see that? It replaces the wall, places the wall, edits a window so fast to try and get the shotgun, the pump shotgun shot off. He's going for it. You see every time.
He got it, he got it!
Right there, gets the shot. What a fast edit.
He's doing such fast edits, he's confusing himself as he's just trying to get in the box. Swapping down over to Destern.
5 HP.
And there's the drum gun.
Right now, Dester just holding down left click, trying to keep the wall up. Turbo mode coming in clutch for situations like that where he can just keep his opponent out as long as he's got the build up, holds down that left mouse click.
And this is almost a must. Flame. What?
5 HP in a dream. He popped 2 minis. So he's at 55, but he didn't take. Oh.
He got 3 elims though. He got 3 elims. It's a point.
Turkey Lips coming in third partying, basically a melee combat third party to try and get the last elimination.
And third partying is something that we talk about so much. If you watched any of the summer skirmishes up to this point, I'm sure you've heard the commentators talk about it. Why is third partying everything in these events?
So you have 2 players like this right here, 72 versus his opponent right now. There could be a, we'll say, third party that can come in and somebody that knows that there's a fight going on.
Assuming they're weak,
damage. Exactly.
Get a free kill,
and say, this elimination is mine as well. Now you see on your screen, 6 players right now, even though replays and